it sick?
Hey guys, I'm the Stradman. I am unfortunately not driving my new supercar. I'm driving my 2002 Audi TT. You know, now that the Lotus is sold, this has become my new daily driver. It's not the same. Yeah. But it's still a cool little car. You know, gets me where I need to go. But the search for the new supercar is full bore right now. You might remember I'm looking at the Aston Martin V8 Vantage, the Audi R8, the Ferrari 360, and the Lamborghini Gallardo. And finally I got to test drive a Lamborghini Gallardo. And boy, let me tell you guys, it was awesome. It was everything I was hoping it would be and more. As it stands right now, I can pretty much say with 99.9% certainty, I'm getting a Lamborghini Gallardo. You know, going into the search, that was kind of what my heart wanted. It was the #1 option, and after driving it, it's like I can't settle for second best or whatever, you know. So I was able to test drive some Gallardos, a couple of them, an orange and a black one, and I'm in love with the car. Like, I'm definitely getting a Lamborghini Gallardo. So I drove down to Scottsdale, Arizona this past weekend and was able to drive a black one and an orange one. Now, unfortunately, you guys have to listen to me talk while driving my Audi, because neither of the dealerships were very excited about me filming the test drive, which I get. You know, I get it. Some young guy wants to come film himself driving a Lamborghini for his YouTube channel. Like, give me a break. Like, it makes sense. I can understand. They wouldn't take me very serious. So I get it. It's still unfortunate. So I was able to get a couple videos with my iPhone, a couple pictures. So I'll put those in the video so you'll get an idea at least of the cars that I test drove. So I guess we'll talk about the black one first. I actually drove that one second, but I kind of want to save the best for last. You know, just to give you a heads up about the orange one, obviously right there, sneak preview. So the black one, specs. So it's a 2004 Lamborghini Gallardo Coupe, 6-speed manual, black exterior, black interior with yellow inserts. Pretty nice car. It has the gunmetal Cassiopeia wheels, which are the stock OEM wheels for the early 04-05 Gallardos. Pretty nice car in general. 33,000 miles. Asking price $93,000. So, you know, my budget, you know, has to be under 100,000, which if you keep watching the video, you'll see maybe that's changed a little bit, but this one is under 100,000, so that's a good thing. It's a bit cheaper. So, you know, to be honest, going down to Scottsdale, the black one was kind of an afterthought, but when I rolled into the dealership, I was like, wow, that's a really nice car. It looks really good in black. A Gallardo in black is very, very sinister. So checked out the car. You know, the exterior in general, it was in pretty good shape. The paint wasn't quite perfect. It had some swirl marks, but in general, it was a pretty good looking car. Interior, you know, it has the yellow inserts, which I kind of like, because the interior on the early Gallardos is kind of boring. It's pretty plain, and having the yellow inserts, you know, the yellow seats, you know, and the door panels are yellow. It kind of, you know, livens up the interior, makes it feel a bit more special, kind of matches the exterior a little bit more. But unfortunately, as soon as I sat in the car, just engulfed in cigarette smoke. Like, the car smelled awful, like just terrible. And you know, the interior of the car, it just didn't look very well cared for. You know, the yellow was pretty dirty. Some of the buttons were all scratched, and you know, the plastic, it looked like it had been in the heat a lot. It just wasn't in very good shape for a $93,000 car. I mean, that's a lot of money. You know, I understand it's 12 years old, whatnot, but yeah, it wasn't in great shape. Definitely still want to test drive it just to get a feel. So, of course, I took it for a test drive. So this Gallardo has an aftermarket Larney exhaust, and this thing just hummed. It just hummed. It was so loud. Just sitting at idle. You know, it's just sitting behind, just going, super loud, which is a good thing. I want a loud Lamborghini. This one, the neighbors, every time. Just when the car was warming up, like a cold startup, the whole neighborhood would be woken up. So, yeah, super loud. Took it for a test drive, went out for, you know, 15 minutes or so, Car drove in general pretty nice at the start. You know, these Gallardos are fast cars. 0 to 60 time is 4 seconds or so. What is this guy doing? This guy right here is reversing down the road right now. He's just going backward. He went for like 200 meters. I could see him way ahead. And he's just sitting there. Huh. Anyway, so took it for a test drive. The car drove pretty nice at the start. You know, the Gallardos, they're fast. 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. And I know I'm going to get some comment on YouTube like, oh, the Gallardos are so slow. 0 to 60 in 4 seconds is fast. I mean, give me a break. Yes, the new supercars do it in under 3 seconds. Yes, a Tesla Model S P85D does it in 3 seconds or whatever. But 0 to 60 in 4 seconds is still super quick. You know, it has 500 horsepower, still a very fast car, faster than 99.9% of the cars on the road. So I was impressed with the speed. Some of you guys might not be. I was impressed driving the car. You know, red line's at 8,000 RPMs. You know, I took it up to maybe high fives, maybe hit 6,000 RPMs. You know, the sales guys with me, I'm going to be respectful of the car. I'm not going to open it up all the way. Now with this Gallardo, so I'm driving it, after about 10 minutes, car's warmed up, get to a stop sign, first gear, start accelerating, you know, not full throttle or anything, shifted into second. In second, push down the gas pedal, and all of a sudden the car just starts like shaking, like it won't go forward. I don't know if it was lacking airflow or fuel, I'm not sure what, or if there's something wrong with the transmission, but I shifted up to third, the car was fine, but then as I drove it, it did it a couple more times. And you know, of course, the sales guy sitting next to me and he's like, oh, it's a high revving engine. You need to drive this car between 4,000 and 8,000 RPMs or whatever, you know, he was trying to do to sell a car. You know, it is true. It is a high revving engine car. That's where you're going to get max performance. But you can drive a Gallardo in second gear at 3,000. I mean, give me a break. 3,000 RPMs in second gear. It's not like it's 1,000 RPMs. Yeah, I get that, where the car would stall out. And I had just driven the orange one right before the black one, and I drove the orange one in second gear at 3,000 RPMs. So I know that that's not normal. So anyways, the black one, obviously I'm not buying that car. It has some type of mechanical problem, and these cars are expensive to fix. So the last thing I want to do is buy a car that already has issues, obviously. That goes without saying. So the black one, you know, it was a bit of a disappointment, but it was still a great opportunity to drive the car, kind of get a feel for a Gallardo again, especially after just driving the orange one. So the orange one. Yes, the orange one. You know, orange, first off, fantastic car for a Gallardo. I mean, that, when you think of the definition of a Lamborghini, having it in orange, it kind of works. It definitely works. So, to give you the specs on this one, so it's a 2006 Lamborghini Gallardo SE. Obviously, those are all very good things. I'll tell you why soon. Gallardo SE, it's orange. It has 32,000 miles. Now the asking price is a bit high, $115,000 for this Gallardo SE, which I don't need to do the math for you. Clearly that's $15,000 more than my maximum budget. But the car's sick. What can I say? It's sick. Like, it's sick. It's worth an extra 15, right? I could sell it someday for an extra 15, maybe. I don't know about that, actually. Scrap that, I don't know. So anyway, so I'll talk more about why this is such a great car. So 2006. So most of the Gallardos I've been looking at are 04, 05s. So 2006, a bit newer. Now generally a couple years, not a big difference, but in this case I kind of feel like it is. So when Lamborghini unveiled the Gallardo, it was sort of a new generation of Lamborghinis. Before the Gallardo, Lamborghini only built one car, sort of their flagship V12. And what I mean by that is in the 90s, Lamborghini built the V12 Diablo. Then the Diablo was replaced with the Murcielago. So they were always only building one car. But then when they unveiled the Gallardo in 04, all of a sudden Lamborghini's building two cars. And the Gallardo was a development from the ground up. It's the first Lamborghini to have a V10. You know, the car was built, you know, from the bottom up, like I was saying. Now, generally with a car like this, bottom up, there's sort of going to be some kinks, you know, to work out on the production of the car in the first couple years. So in 04, there's going to be some little issues, you know, they'll kind of resolve them in 05. And then by 06, the car will sort of be what it's supposed to be. All those little things will be fixed by then. So that's, obviously a great reason to buy an 06 instead of an 04. Also, in 2005, Lamborghini gave the option. They added a front-end lift system to the car as an option, and they also have the rear glass engine cover. Now, the front-end lift system, that basically raises the front end a couple inches. I want to say 3 inches maybe, but it raises it up a little bit. And these Gallardos sit super low to the ground. So living in the mountains in Utah, the roads are pretty awful in general. There's a lot of steep driveways and whatnot. So having that front-end lift system, being able to lift the car up a couple of inches, is going to be great because I'm not going to scrape the front bumper as often. So super convenient feature, very practical for where I live. And in the wintertime, driving in the snow, I know some people think that's ridiculous. I'm driving this car in the snow. Anyways, so obviously very practical, cool feature. It's going to increase resale value too, obviously. The glass engine cover, functionality wise, it doesn't do much. It just kind of looks super cool. I mean, who doesn't want to be able to look in and see, the 5-liter V10? Cool feature. I think it's like an $1,800, $2,000 option. Gonna increase resale value someday. So super cool features that are both on this 06 Gallardo SE. Also, this is an SE. Now, SE, that stands for Special Edition. Whoa. Wow, that was great, Lamborghini. That was an awesome name. But anyways, the SE is a pretty cool Special Edition, actually. If you know Lamborghini, they built the Gallardo for 10 years, and they built so many Special Edition Gallardos. I mean, it's kind of, I can't even keep track of them. They're built so many. But the Gallardo SE was the first one. And, so what they did with the SE. So this one it's had the orange exterior, and then the roof is painted black. And the black roof is sort of the signature look of the SE. All the SEs have black roofs to match with the offset normal color exterior. The rear taillights, they're tinted a bit darker as well, which looks pretty cool. The SE has the special Callisto wheels that were unveiled on the SE to begin with. Later Gallardos also got the Callisto wheels, but it was the first one to be fitted with those. Unfortunately, the one I'm looking at in Scottsdale actually has aftermarket Forge Line wheels, which is too bad because I really do like the Callisto wheels. Other cool things, performance-wise, the SE actually has an additional 20 horsepower. So in 0405, the Gallardo has 500 horsepower. The SE has 520. So yes, it's only 20 horsepower, but hey, who doesn't want an extra 20 horsepower? I mean, might as well. It's going to be a little bit quicker in a straight line. Hey, more horsepower is always a good thing in my book. Other thing, so the SE Special Edition, they only built 250 of them. A lot of these newer Special Edition cars, they have the badge on them that says like 1 of 250, or like the LaFerrari, it says 1 of 499, but it's not the specific serial number. Whereas the Gallardo SE actually says 157/250, which is cool. I mean, it's just kind of cool to have a unique serial number or badge or whatever on the car. It's just cool. One of those kind of dumb things, but hey, it's still cool. Also, they only built 250 SEs. Roughly 20% of the production of the SEs is a manual transmission. So that means only 50 SEs in the world are manual transmissions. And then they had 5 different colors, and this is an orange one. So there's roughly only 10 examples like this in the world that have the orange exterior with the 6-speed manual transmission in the SE package. So it's pretty cool. It's a very unique Gallardo. So as far as specs, so like I was saying, so 115,000, 33,000 miles, 06 Lamborghini Gallardo SE orange exterior. Super cool car, super cool. It basically kind of meets a lot of, pretty much every single one of my requirements for the car. So I took it for a test drive. Super nice, car drove very well, super fast. It has an aftermarket exhaust that sounds fantastic. It has the 4 pipes, the dual on each side, that looks really cool. To be honest, the dealership doesn't actually know what kind of exhaust setup it has. It sounds good though, it looks good. So I guess if I get the car, obviously I'd want to look into finding out what type of system it has. but it sounds really good. The car is fast. This thing gets so much attention in bright orange. Even in Scottsdale, you know, Scottsdale is a very wealthy suburb of Phoenix, Arizona. Ton of nice cars. While I was there, I saw an orange 918 Spider, saw a ton of Ferraris. But this Gallardo in orange gets so much attention, even in a place where they're relatively common. So like up in Park City, like the thing would be nuts. It would get so much attention. So I took it for a test drive. Loved the car. Loved the car. I did end up making an offer on this Gallardo. And then the dealership a couple days later, they sent a counter offer to me, and that's where we sit right now. So we're within $5,000 of each other right now. So we're super close. But $5,000 in the grand scheme isn't much. But I want the $5,000. They want like we both want the $5,000. I don't want to give in. They don't want to give in. And you know, that's kind of the trick with negotiating. It's just trying to see who can be the most patient, who can wait the longest, who can get what they want. You know, I feel like there's a chance we could meet in the middle, each give $2,500, but I don't know for sure. And you know, there's a chance the dealership will actually watch this video. So I'm kind of showing my cards right now, but that's a whole part of the game. They don't know what I really mean. So that's kind of where we're sitting right now. You know, sort of my first rule of negotiations, the first one is to not fall in love with the car. Because as soon as you fall in love with a car, that's when you overpay for it. You know, you're like, oh, what's a couple extra thousand? I love this car, I want this car now. You're impatient. You know, you get scared someone else is gonna buy it, so you end up overpaying for the car. So never fall in love with a car before you buy it. Which, as you guys can probably tell, I'm probably kind of falling in love with the car. So it seems like I'm breaking my first rule of negotiation right now, but I haven't bought the car yet, so I feel like I'm still kind of sitting pretty. So anyways, my second rule of negotiation, anyways guys, look, you don't have to listen anywhere I'm saying. Like, I have no educational background. You know, I'm not in a position to tell people how to negotiate, but I'm still going to do it because these are my rules. So the second rule is, before you go look at a car, come up with a price that's the most you're willing to pay. And if it gets to the point where you reach that price, walk away. Don't pay more than that. And when I went down there, I had that number in my head. That's what I ended up offering. So I ended up offering the maximum amount I was willing to pay. That's where I'm at right now. So it's sort of a struggle. I don't want to pay more than that for the car. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see what happens. You know, if the car sells, I'll be super disappointed. I won't be devastated because, you know, there will be other Lamborghinis, you know, that will pop up for sale. Right now, it kind of seems like there won't be, but there will be. There always is. You know, it might happen tomorrow, it might happen next week, it might happen in a couple months. But we'll see what happens. You know, love the car. I'd love to hear what you guys think of it in the comments. I have a feeling most people are gonna like it. It's pretty sick. It's super sick. And if you don't, whatever. I like it. So, yeah. So anyways, buying a supercar is hard. It is not an easy thing by any stretch. You know, I'm looking at Gallardos. I'm looking at an 04, 05, 06. So not too many years. It has to be a 6-speed manual, and it has to be, you know, in that $100,000 range. So you get on Auto Trader, you do a search for this, you know, you get maybe 30 Gallardos, but 80% of them are E-Gear. So now you're down to, I don't know, 6 or so. 6 that are a 6-speed. You know, a couple of them are colors that maybe I don't desire. You know, I'm not looking for a silver one or a yellow one. So, you know, that's going to knock off 3 of them. You know, and then there's going to be the one that, you know, some guy butchered it by doing these aftermarket modifications. It has these huge chrome wheels. You know, it has some weird paint job, or, you know, this body kit that there's so many awful Gallardo body kits. You know, so now I'm basically down to 2 Gallardos in the whole country that I'm looking at. You know, so it's very difficult to find one. It's hard to find one, and I don't want to overpay. I want to get one that's clean. You know, you have to get a pre-purchase inspection, which costs, you know, $500. So there's a lot that goes into buying a supercar. It's not like going down to the Toyota dealership to pick up, you know, a new car or whatever. It's a process. It can take months and months to buy the car, especially when you don't want to overpay. I mean, if I just wanted to pay the asking price, yeah, I could pick one up easily. But I want to get a good deal because, you know, that's sort of how I can afford this car, is by picking it up for a good price, you know, not losing too much on depreciation and reselling it someday in a couple of years, ideally for close to what I paid for it. So it's a process, but I'm gonna be getting it hopefully here really soon. So be sure to subscribe, because as soon as I get this car, it's gonna be a ton of awesome content. You know, I'm planning to daily drive this car. I'm gonna drive it in the winter time. I'm gonna take it to the grocery store. I mean, it's gonna be, I'm literally gonna drive the car everywhere. So there should be I think some pretty cool footage. Hopefully it's gonna be fun for me. It's gonna be fun for me, that's for sure. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. This is like basically a goal of mine I've been working toward for 20 years. So it's pretty crazy that I'm getting to the point where I'm actually offering, you know, $100,000+ for a car. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys really soon with an update on my supercar purchase. Talk to you soon. Bye.